Spend more time working on yourselves or putting in game plan stuff for Clemson?
Oh, we did a little bit of both. Good thing about having an off week is guys get to focus on academics, try to get their bodies back right. It's been a long haul with camp starting, and just to give those guys a little bit of rest mentally and physically, and then give us a chance to look at Clemson and then be able to practice some of those things last week as well. So both.
Coach Taggart mentioned two quarterbacks will probably be playing in this game against Clemson. How do you kind of manage reps when you're going to be using both guys in the game?
I'm going to lean on Coach Taggart for advice on that. He's ultimately the head football coach, so he's going to make the decision on which guy's going at that certain time. So, whether or not it's a guy who's playing well or we just want to rotate them, I think that's all going to be a game time decision. Both guys are very capable of executing the offense. We feel really good about them.
But getting them ready in practice, will it just be a 50-50 thing, or do you look at one guy and think maybe he needs more reps? In terms of managing reps in practice, how do you kind of go about that when you're going to want to use two guys?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to change the way we've been practicing them. Both those guys have been getting reps with the ones and twos. That'll continue.
Have you ever had a 2 QB system before as an offensive coordinator when you know going in you're going to use both?
I don't know if I have. No. Like I said, I think I said it when I first spoke to you guys. Alex is a starter. He is a starter. He is a very experienced guy. James is a starter. So both those guys are very capable. Feel comfortable with both of them on the field and know that both of them can get the job done.
James plays on such high emotion. Coach Taggart says he doesn't want to change who a guy is, but is playing with the proper sort of emotion for James an important thing, a coaching point for you when you're talking to him?
I don't think he plays out of character emotionally. I think that he still is able to think calmly and make good decisions, and he's not a guy who's just so out there that he loses his mind. I mean, he's a passionate person. That's who he is, and guys feed off that, and he plays that. But he doesn't play where he's not able to execute and do the things you need him to do.
How does crowd noise impact wanting to go the tempo that you want to?
It's difficult. It's going to be extremely loud there. You got to try to make all the calls up front, get that all communicated so everybody's on the same page, and then try to get off all on time, and that makes it difficult.
Coach, from the spring to now, where have you seen the biggest growth from your guys offensively that's led to the improvement that they had this year?
I mean, just knowledge of the offense and being comfortable with seeing signals and lining up and executing and playing fast. And, if you're trying to process a lot of information and try to play fast, typically you're going to get penalties and you're not going to execute well. So just being, being around the offense for a long period of time and understanding what we're trying to do and then seeing, reacting, and playing.
They lost some serious defensive linemen off last year's team, and then it looks like they're putting up better numbers this year defensively. What are they doing so well? How do they create pressure? Do they? I think Coach Venables said they blitz a little more this year than they had to last year.
They're good. Those guys they're good. Coach Venables knows what he's doing. He's been there a long time. Those players have been in that scheme for a long time. So, all those kids that might not have been playing, they're seeing the schemes, they're practicing it, they know what they're doing. And he does a lot of things as far as pressures. He brings a lot of exotic things, and he can do that because they've been there. They've had a system that the guys know. And he's one of the top DCs in the country. Does a great job.
When you guys, at the end of the last game against NC State, it looked like you were cut blocking some, but some of it they didn't connect, or they looked like they were just going to the ground. Is that the plan to just kind of fall? I'm only asking because fans were asking what they were doing on those plays.
Yeah, we're trying to get hands down. It's a quick game. Whether or not we were executed it properly, that's neither here nor there. But you're trying to get hands down on quick game, and we'll continue to do that. And that's one of the things that you do in pass pro. If we can't execute it and the guys can't do it, then we'll have to go to other options.
For the most part, did they do that well?
At times.
Okay.
Most teams, or a lot of teams, when they try to go two quarterbacks, it's because they don't quite have trust in either guy. But like you said, you got two guys who are starters, two guys who've had success with this offense. What kind of advantage can it be for this team to use two guys?
Well, you got to make sure both guys are healthy first and foremost. So I think that we have that. What kind of advantage does it have? I don't know. You got, like I said, both guys are capable of doing it. They're going to be able to go out there and execute the offense and run it. So, I look forward to them both doing that.
For your offensive line, do you and Randy have to get creative when you're going up against a team that's as imposing as Clemson, or is it just these guys, your offensive line, they got to be on their game going up against a team like that?
Yeah, at some point you got to block the guy in front of you. you got to be better than him. You know, you can scheme up as much as you want to scheme up, but if you get in one-on-one situations, you got to be better than that guy blocking him, and you got to get the ball out. So those are two things that got to happen.
How has Dante Lucas done this year as a true freshman? You don't usually see a true freshman on the offensive line. I guess how has he progressed throughout the year?
I love the way Dante plays. He loves football. He's passionate about the game. You know, there's going to be some busts there. You know, we know that. We understand that. And but his busts are going full speed. You know, and that's the thing that I appreciate him. He really loves playing the game. And I think he's put in the work to really try to be a really good football player and a good teammate.
Okay, good.